So Bobby's not going to be here, so it's going to be just me today. We're going to go over NBA and maybe we'll do a little of the NHL as well. Bobby's going to be at the Waste Management Open. I just did a Sheets refresh. So let me first download this to the site, and then we'll show you what it looks like. It is sort of a weird night in that, there's definitely some stuff that could happen with respect to, the trade deadline. So we definitely have to stay on top of that. Hold on, NBA. Oh, shoot. We gotta stop this one. Hold on, we're gonna. Crap. Sorry about this, guys. I have to. Redo these sheets. Sorry about this. Yeah. Oh, okay, TJ, you're getting right in there. Definitely waiting on Maxey news. I presume he's not going to play, but that game. The good thing is that game's at 7:30. I'm also presuming that DeJounte Murray is not going to be playing, but we will take a look at that. Let me just see something. So it looks like FanDuel is ready to go. Let me just confirm that first, and then I'll upload that. Boy, why is this not working? Actually, FanDuel is working. Okay, so wait, FanDuel is working, so that'll upload. Sorry about this, guys. This is why sometimes I usually have Bobby here while I'm doing this. That's why I usually get there like 6:05. Sorry. Right, so FanDuel, once it goes up, then I can at least focus on this. File upload. FanDuel is now up. Now we'll do DraftKings, and then we will be ready to go. Now we are going to go live at 11 o'clock tonight, where we are hopefully going to sweat the something good in the 2,500, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the 2,500. I'm not 2,500, the 888. I want to see to that, so I'm looking forward to pre-rolling that thing. And then we'll also talk about whatever else is going on. I really do like the live sweats. And we're going to go over the slate in just a minute here. Let's make sure this saved. It did. Very good. NBA. And this is in. Okay, you're definitely playing Barrett? All right. Hey. Far be it from me. Tell you what to do. All right, so let's take a look at the sheets here for now and see what we have. First for DraftKings. Now we just sort everything by point per dollar. We're still getting this Caleb Martin value at a 5.x up here, which is sort of interesting, I guess. It's only 5.7x, but he's going to be 36% owned. And the question is, do you really need him? The next best piece of value, I presume he starts, is this Asar Thompson, I think. And one thing that's interesting is that you have all these late guys from Sacramento. Ooh, and the Peyton Pritchard is showing up as good value as well. So as far as Stone Cheapos, also you have what's his name? Look at this. Trey Lyles from the Sacramento game. So from that Sacramento game, you have Herter, Thompson, Sabonis, Fox, Lyles, and we don't even know Barnes, Malik Monk. We don't even know if Cade Cunningham is actually starting there, do we? If he starts, he's going to be naturally a very important part of any game stack or anything like that. Victor Wembanyama showing up as a really, really strong play. De'Aaron Fox, also from the Sacramento game, is showing up as a really strong play. And what's not been decided yet is what's going on in Atlanta. You know, if DeJounte Murray is out, which I'm projecting him in for now, but I'm fully expecting him to be ruled out. And if he gets ruled out, then you get all of that stuff. You know, then you have more Trey, you have more Jalen Johnson, you have more Bogdan Bogdanovic, and even some degree Okongwu. Yeah, you're really into this Toronto thing, huh, TJ? And the Charlotte. You like the Bridges and Rozier, Barrett for sure. Yeah, I mean, certainly it's a good matchup. The other thing I wanted to mention is there are some guys that are under trade consideration, I guess, that we definitely have to keep an eye on, to the point where I'm probably not going to play them. And let's just go through those. I think I put the hockey ones in already. Did I upload the hockey? Oh, I did. Just in case I didn't, I'm going to do this right now. Sorry about this. It's only a 3-game slate, but we can do it anyway. Now, this is a perfect example tonight of where, you know, you really want to delay as much as possible. You get that flexibility. It's really big, and that Sacramento game is late. So it's I mean, not that you need to, but you might even want to bump projections up on those games. All right, so hockey's now up as well. All right, so this is what it looks like. Well, this is hockey. Yeah, I don't like the way SaberSim has messed around with the UI here, but whatever. Ooh, what's this here? It says, oh, Drew Holiday is out. All right, so that's already been accounted for in the projections. That's why Pritchard is showing up here. All right, so what I was going to say is that, and we're still waiting on Maxey, right? So Maxey, if he's out, then Harris and probably some other guys come into play. I think Patrick Beverley's likely to start anyway. But then you have those secondary pieces that could come into play. Like if I pull this up, just the Philly guys. If he's out, Oubre's certainly going to get a bump. Maybe one of these guys like House or Jaden Springer, if they start, they'll get a bump. So we definitely have to keep an eye on that. Let me just go through all these players. So Cleveland, it's just kind of like it is what it is. There's no real special thing there. Washington, I didn't think anybody was under trade consideration there, so that's just we're just gonna have the projections stand for themselves. Toronto, talked about this. So Emmanuel Quickly was showing up as a good play earlier. I want to take a look and see how that kind of works. Bruce Brown is the one who is under heavy trade talks right now. So I'm probably going to be Xing him out. Whether he is announced as out or not, I probably won't be playing him. But we'll keep an eye on that for 7 o'clock. As a matter of fact, before I forget, we're going to take Bruce Brown out of the rotation here. As far as Charlotte goes, I mean, none of these guys I'm particularly, going to rule out or anything like that. Golden State, we have to watch that one. So, looks like Draymond Green is probable, so he's going to play. All right, that's interesting. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Klay Thompson is in. Is he still in? Let's take a look at that. I was expecting there's a possibility he would sit. Let me just confirm that he's in. I can't. I guess confirm he's in. Let me just see if the Q tag is taken off of him. Like I see him probable over here, but let me see if everything's going. Actually, I do still see Draymond as he's questionable on my DraftKings app, but oh my god, DraftKings is so slow. This is annoying. Are we going to deal with this all day, all night? Or maybe it's my internet that's slow. That's even worse. But you have Draymond Green. I have him as, oh my god, everything's so slow. It's not pleasant. He's questionable. Yeah, so we have to keep an eye on that one, I guess. So we'll keep an eye there. San Antonio. Well, forget that for a second. Let's go back to Philly. Again, we already talked about this. We got to watch for Tyrese Maxey. We'll watch for that news. San Antonio, a couple of notes here. Devin Vassell might be in for a good game here. Miami, I mean, they're pretty good defensively, but they do like to, I would say like to, they give up a lot of threes. So maybe Devin Vassell looks pretty good. Keldon Johnson's been kind of bad. I'm just going to X him out. Doug McDermott has been rumored to be on the trade block. I mean, it's silly, but I wasn't going to get to him anyway. But I think I'm going to X him out. Miami, I mean, these guys are all sort of, they are what they are. Keep them as is. Atlanta, as I mentioned, I'm going to not be playing DeJounte Murray anyway, I mean, regardless of whether he's in or not. DeAndre Hunter, apparently his minutes are going to be managed, so he's someone that we can X out of the player pool. On the Boston side, we have, I mean, everybody just kind of is what they are. New Orleans, all right, so Zion Williamson remains questionable, so that's something we have to keep an eye on. But I don't think anybody's really on the trade block there. The Clippers, we have, seems like everybody's sort of normal. Detroit against Sacramento. So big news, I don't know whether Cunningham's going to be in or Bojan's going to be in. Both of them are going to be in, but so you probably want to delay that. Osar Thompson, again, if he starts at 4,400, he's probably a lock. Alec Burks, rumors of something with him, enough where I'll probably X him out of the player pool. Killian Hayes has some terrible coach speak. I mean, he's saying that he doesn't like the team or whatever. So that's probably worth Xing out. On Sacramento, there was some weird stuff with the Kevin Huerter. Something about how he either did or did not delete the Sacramento Kings from his Instagram account or something, spurring some, speculation. Maybe something's going on with him. But one thing I talked about in the earlier stream is that, well, I'll get to another narrative in a minute, that usually Huerter and Monk don't smash together. So just for fun, I might at the end of the day make a rule to only have max one of those guys. But the real thing is you have De'Aaron Fox, who just looks incredibly cheap. And then you have Domantas Sabonis, who has got this kind of weird narrative with Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren, like last year, mentioned that it's not so hard to guard the Sabonis. And Sabonis responded in their last matchup by putting up like 70 fantasy points or something like that. So, and that's good enough for me. It's probably a good play anyway. So one of Sabonis or Fox certainly makes sense. Now you do certainly have blowout risk. So that's something you have to keep in mind. So those are kind of the notes. Let's take a look at the again, if there's any news that comes in, I'm going to have another Discord channel up that's a little more complete. But the only thing we're really waiting on, I mean, we're waiting on stuff that might not happen for a little while, like Philly and Atlanta. So let me pull this up for a minute. Let's see. We have, yeah, this doesn't seem like too much. So just for fun, I mean, if you want, we could run a build, see what that's all about. Before I do that, let me do the same thing, by the way, when I was with FanDuel. So I'll upload what I have for now. FanDuel. And let's go back and we'll X out those guys I talked about. And that was going to be, from Atlanta. I'm not going to play DeJounte Murray regardless. I do like Jalen Johnson, by the way. I think that's somewhat interesting. I didn't say anything about the Atlanta, right? I was going to X out. What's his name? Not only DeJounte Murray, but also DeAndre Hunter. So he was going to have his minutes managed. Who else did I mention? Oh, Bruce Brown. I'm going to get rid of him. And then we said for Detroit, regardless, we were going to probably take out Alec Burks and Killian Hayes. All right, so let's go back to DraftKings and let's just build and see what we get. And this is obviously going to change. And what I'm really interested in seeing is how much we get of those first two games. Because if we had no news on those later games until, for a little while, I don't see any real reason where I have to play, too much Cleveland or Washington. Or Toronto or Charlotte for that matter. But if we're getting like a whole bunch of Toronto and Charlotte, I'm not gonna exit out just for spite. But what I might do is taper it down a little bit. So let's just see what I would get kind of normally here. And again, we're playing one lineup in that 25 in that 888 that we won the seat to. And I'm pretty sure that let me just see if the contest sims are still in here. Well, let's get rid of this. This. Where's my build settings? Contest sim settings. Yep, Mega 8's on the fadeaway. So let's run a contest sim. I guess Springer's a good play if he starts, Jolly. I guess that's what I'm looking for. Or a decent play. So we're just waiting on, to answer that question, we're kind of waiting on Philadelphia 76ers information. And Dwayne is asking, it's all about who our value is tonight. I mean, listen, I imagine we're going to get a bunch of Caleb Martin when we run this, and Osar Thompson, at least one of them, maybe both of them, or Kevin Pritchard, who we're seeing over here. So like right now we run this, we're getting like all kinds of Kevin Huerter, but then Pritchard, Martin, Thompson, but not as much as you think, as I would think, which is sort of interesting. So the other thing I will notice is that you're getting all this Charlotte, all this Nick Richards, and that that provides that raises a question of whether to do it, because you're taking up a spot at 7 p.m. But what's telling is that they want me to have 74% of them. So let's actually run the contest sim and see if that makes any difference. I mean, it seems like a good play, but it doesn't seem like a play you have to have, right? The Nick Richards doesn't feel that way. What else are you doing at center, though? I mean, I've heard some people talk about Podol. But that's also from that game, right? Isn't Podol from the Toronto? Yeah. I mean, it'd take up a Sabonis spot, that's for sure. So what does it look like? What does the fadeaway look like here? So the fadeaway looks like still like all this Herder for some reason, and like 80% Nick Richards, which is very. I mean, this is very annoying in a way. And if you make it to 4 uniques, min 4 uniques, and you kind of, crunch it a little bit, then you're still getting a full 50% of the Nick Richards. It looks like 60%, and all this Caleb Martin, and then you're getting a little more Trey Lyles. Boy, and you're getting all this Tobias Harris anyway, which is probably telling. I mean, it probably will goes to show what a great play he is. If what's his name is out, so let me save this for now. Let's see what the Mega 8s looks like, just the top lineup, and three Kings, which certainly makes some sense. And this one actually gets Barrett, but we're still getting this Nick Richards. Boy, and it gets Steph Curry. That's pretty unique, actually. I don't think people are going to play him. So actually, I'm going to say that that's a pretty interesting play. I wouldn't think about too much to play Steph Curry, Steph Curry. Wait, so did I do this right? Or did I? No, I'm confused. Let me see if I did this right. I don't think I did for some reason. Let me see. I think I did actually. Yeah. So that's fine. But again, we're still waiting. You know what I mean? Like we're just waiting on Miami stuff, which is so this is all kind of silly anyway. Let's just take a look. Let's see what we're going to do for FanDuel. FanDuel, we're going to play 5 entries in that jumbo. So let's just build this for now and see what we get. I'll build 20, I guess. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll build 2,000 just to see what it looks like. I'm just going to build these. Then we're going to do contest sim with just the jumbo because that's all I'm playing. We're just kind of waiting here, right? I mean, it's 6:30. You'd think that they'd announce something with Tyrese Maxey sooner than later. It says Miami Heat's Haywood Highsmith hit a person, helping another driver stuck in the middle of the road. And the man who was hit is in critical condition and suffered a partial amputation of his leg. Okay. All right, so that's why he's out for personal reasons. You hear something new every day. It's a terrible thing, that poor guy. Let's see what FanDuel looks like here. While we're waiting on the Philadelphia and the Miami news, I'll go ahead and fire up some hockey sims, I guess. The other thing that we're going to do at 11 is we're going to do the sweat of the 2,500 whatever, and we're also going to look at all the other lobbies, and we're going to do a live lineup build, like a final live lineup build for the golf. And for those of you that saw, I did a very, very quick. Ooh, look at this, Tyus Jones, really, and this one will get me RJ Barrett. But more Kevin Herter. Kevin Herter seems to be the nuts. It's fine. So we'll save these for now. people have asked me who I like in the Super Bowl. I guess I guess San Francisco. But what do I know? I'm sure that whatever I pick in the Super Bowl is going to have a 50% chance of coming in. The line seems pretty sharp to me. All right, let's pull up the hockey while we're waiting. Feel free to fire off, by the way, any questions you have. Whatever. You're saying another 50 from Brandon Miller? I don't know, maybe. It's worth a shot. Now here, I want to show you something which I kind of allude to in some of my other videos. And I'm showing this for a reason, even though it's mostly NBA. We're doing a hockey build here. And the reason why I'm doing this to kind of show is to prove a point is that the difference between the regular builds in hockey and the builds you get when you apply the contest sims is quite dramatic, especially compared to that same difference that you see in the NBA. Remember what we saw in the NBA when we did our regular builds, when we applied the contest simulations, we really didn't get that much less or more of anybody. I mean, we got a little bit less, but not a big deal. I just want to show you without even knowing what it's going to say. Like right now, we run our normal builds in hockey, and what we'd be getting, well, let's first it's only 3 game slate, so we're not going to be greedy here, but we'll take out the 3 threes. We'll take out and we'll keep everything else, I guess. And you'll notice that you're getting, 72% Minnesota, 45% Toronto, 40% Chicago, right? So to give you an example, we'll upload those for now to show you what I'm to show you. Then we're going to run a contest sim. You see it saved the information here. And then we will run a contest sim. And I'm guessing that you're not going to see 72% Minnesota, 45% Toronto, and 40% Chicago. I'm guessing that you're going to see something different, just based on my experience with Saber Sim and contest sims in hockey. And there's a reason for this. I mean, this is my theory, is that, well, 2 reasons. Number one, it's just much less projectable than NBA. I mean, NBA is a very projectable sport, where NHL is very, very event-driven. And your points are just kind of really front-loaded towards events, whether it be block shots or score or goals, where NBA, you just kind of slowly but surely accrue your median. You slowly but surely accrue your fantasy points. They come in batches of 3s, 2s, 1.5s, or whatever. Where hockey, you get 0, 0, 0, 0, 10, for example. The other reason why this could happen is because of the way correlation works. Like in hockey or baseball, for example, it's very, very correlative. Like you want to stack 5 guys from one team or 4 guys from one team, because one player's result has everything to do with the others. Where in the NBA, it's really not like that. So, for example, we ran our contest sims, and now we sort by kick save, risk-adjusted ROI. Actually, it's not that bad. What do I know? So you're getting less Minnesota, but now you're getting much more Toronto. This is not the way it usually works. That's very interesting. So it also actually gives me quite a bit of confidence in my projections when this occurs. So we're going to go ahead and do this and go right in there and just save the kick save. Usually you get quite a bit of difference between what you're getting with your normal Saber, your Saber Sim, Saber Score builds, and what you're getting with your contest sim builds. Yeah, in hockey in a 2 game slate, you don't gotta get too crazy. You end up like with terrible lineups. You go min unique even 2 in hockey. in a 2-game slate, is what I'm saying. But you brought up a good point in that I don't know if I actually did anything. I did min uniques too. I mean, I could go min uniques 3. It's not that big of a deal. Gives us more Toronto. You want to do that just for the fans? All right, let's go min uniques 3. We're actually only playing 20 lineups. Oh, I didn't realize that we weren't going to play. Oh, we're only in for 20. Okay. So let's just make sure we do that right. And we'll just save this. And then we'll go back and check. Looks good. And then we'll go back and check the Discord for NBA news, which don't have quite yet. Let's see. All right. So, all right, we have starters for the Hornets. Also, we have Daniel House and Marcus Morris out for Philadelphia. All right, so that's the first thing I would like to look at, I guess, is whether I have those guys at all. Hornets going to start Martin, Brandon Miller, Leaky Black, Michael Bridges, or excuse me, Miles Bridges and Nick Richards. Let's just make sure that I don't have any. Wiggins and Dre are in. Let's just make sure that I don't have any. I don't. The only Phillies guys I have are Harris and Maxey, and I probably will end up not having Maxey in a minute, but we shall see. And in FanDuel, same thing. We can pull this up. Yeah, I just have Tobias Harris, Oubre, etc. So it looks like hockey is up and basketball, we're just kind of waiting. Those of you that saw, I did the golf thing. Again, 11 o'clock, I'm going to do the live golf lineup builds. I'm going to give myself one more opportunity to do something not stupid. I was going to X out Justin Thomas. But I probably will anyway. I just think he's a bad play. I think he's way too popular. I think his projection's bad. I think people are expecting just too much of him. Let's see, what else do we have here in the notes? So I think we're sort of prepared, right? You know, like if Maxey is out, then we'll probably, Tobias Harris's projection will go up and we'll play more of him. You'll also get probably more of Kelly Oubre. You'll probably get some, what's his name? Wait, House is out, right? Is that what they said? Wait, so House is out and Morris is out. We'll just have to see who starts, and Batum is out. Oh, my goodness. We'll just save this one for now. We'll get rid of these Philly guys. So Springer is in. Yeah, he could end up being a good play here. House and Morris were out, right? Is that who it was? So House and Morris are out. Let's go back over here. We'll make House and Morris out. Where's House? House is out. Morris is out. House is out. Morris is out. So we can obviously change all this. I mean, we could change all these projections. But again, it's still the Maxey news that's really going to drive all this. And we're going to wait on the Atlanta news, that being DeJounte Murray. And he's not even listed. Well, actually, his list is questionable for, hashtag back tightness. Back tightness. You might get better projection out of Paul Reed. Let's see what else we have here. DeJounte is out, as I mentioned. As I theorized. So we're going to wait for projections to update, but we could already start with doing something here. So we could start by getting rid of DeJounte Murray. I already did, actually, right? Let's just see if they're already changing this. No, they're not changing it yet, but you're going to get a big projection, I believe, for Bogdan Bogdanovic. I still want to X out DeAndre Hunter just because his minutes are likely to be managed. Sadiq Bey, you might get him starting. DeJounte Murray is out, so we're going to give him a 0. I mean, Garrison Matthews, we'll give him a projection, but, he's not going to show up. Jalen Johnson is probably going to show up. Wonder if A.J. Griffin is going to show up with any kind of projection today. And I know, obviously, these ownership projections are going to change. And then same thing over here. Let's get with FanDuel. Let's just start. Maybe we can just start doing this. We can start updating all these Atlantas, even though it didn't really change yet. But just DeJounte, we already had a 0. DeJounte Murray, we already X'd out. Bogdan is certainly going to be something. And we don't really have to change the ownerships because if we're going to run the contest sims, we're going to use just the Saber sim ownerships anyway. So it's not that big a deal. So we're just going to wait. I mean, I'll try my best to update the projections, but quite honestly, I mean, you just got to I don't know how updated they're going to be. But just so you know, I mean, like, Trae Young's going to be a good play. Bogdan's going to be a good play. Like, all those guys from Atlanta are going to be good plays with DeJounte out. They just are. There is definitely a mountain of blowout risk. That's the only thing, But if they do, in fact, smash, then you can go ahead and play Tatum if you want, back from Boston. And that's the other thing about DeJounte Murray being out. Is that DeJounte Murray's a really good defender, so it makes Atlanta even worse defensively than they already were. So I imagine that the Boston guys are going to have a field day, in this matchup. The only question is if it's going to be too big of a field day. So what I'm going to do another run here. My question is what do I want to do with Cleveland? Washington. Like, am I getting any of them anyway? I mean, I'm getting more of them than I thought. So I think what I'm probably supposed to do what's the matter, Jair? No, I know DeJounte's out. I'm already on that. Yeah, no, Sixers are great. I mean, we have to wait on the news, though. We have to make sure Maxey's out. The question is, what do I do with Cleveland and Washington? I mean, I'm probably not supposed to do anything. But I got to play these Toronto guys. I mean, they show up as too strong of plays, So why don't we do another run? Let's get rid of Cleveland. We'll get rid of Washington, right? And then we'll just rebuild. Let's just see if Atlanta did anything before I rebuild here. Still looks very similar. Let's see. Trey with 45, 28. Didn't really update yet, but it's better than nothing. So this way, what we'll do is we won't waste a spot with a Cleveland or Washington play, which is probably marginal, in case we get the news we want out of that Philadelphia game. I definitely love to have a lot of guys from that Sacramento game. That would be ideal. So let's see. I don't really care too much about the exposures, but let's just take a look and see what it looks like. Let's get rid of that. And yeah, all this Kevin Huerter business. San Antonio, Boston. Okay, so still getting a decent amount of the Nick Richards. Guess we'll just go with it, Maxey is in. Is that what N means? Maxey's in. Okay. Well, you know what that means? That means I don't have to change anything, which is good. That's excellent. Okay. So now we can actually build. That's all the news, right? The only thing we have to get is the updated projection from Atlanta, and then we're in business. Okay. I'm still getting a bunch of this Caleb Martin, which is fine. Nick Richards, good enough. This in the fadeaway for now. Let's go back to this mega here. Boy, all this Boston, I don't want that. That's way too much Boston for me. Get rid of this one. Yeah, I'll play all the San Antonio, all these guys, right? That's no problem. Play all these Sacramentos because we can always screw around with this later. And then we're going to change some of these Atlanta guys in a minute. Okay. We don't have to play that Seth Curry lineup. I didn't want to play that one anyway. The news we are still waiting on is that Detroit. That's the news that we're waiting on, really. Let's go back to FanDuel. And let's see if we updated anything from Atlanta. Nothing really. So let's rerun these. Do we need to rerun these? Yeah, we do, because I want to get rid of the Cleveland, Washington. I wasn't getting them anyway. So maybe I am getting a little too much from this Charlotte, this Nick Richards play. But I just can't really avoid it no matter how I run these things. So it's just going to be what it is, I guess. So the Detroit News is big. And we have to, we'll have to tweak the Atlanta projections a little bit. But remember, there is a lot of blowout risk involved in that game. Don't forget that. Contest sim for the jumbo dunk again. And again, no real need to play the Cleveland-Washington game in case we get like Detroit news. I mean, in fairness, Cleveland, it does have a good matchup there, right? Nonetheless, this is fine. We're only playing 5. And again, all the more the merrier in that Sacramento game because we could just always change it. It's like I could actually show you what I'm going to do in the DraftKings one. Like I'll show you. What I'm probably going to do, honestly, I'll show you. Let's pull up that Mega 8s. Like right now, I have it looks like this. I'll probably I probably won't have Fox and what's the name? I'll probably put something like Kid Cunningham right here, right? Right. So we'll get the Charlotte one done. Then we'll figure out what to do with these later ones later. Like maybe Atlanta will become like a Bogdanovich or something like that, or Jalen Johnson. We have like a half an hour for that. Or maybe that's not such a great idea. Maybe they just go ahead and get blown out. It's possible. Let's update that for now. It doesn't look like it's updating. It did update. All right, I guess I'm going to get out of here. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you guys at 11 for the live sweat.